Good morning, guys. I'm sorry I was jamming a little bit. Good morning, it's Javon Harley with your Health Co. Good morning, Phlebotomy. What's happening, guys? What's happening? Thanks for coming on. Again, my name is Javon Harley with your Health Co. Where here I am bringing you some knowledge and insight on what's going on in industry for phlebotomy and in the healthcare field. So I wanted to talk a little bit about speaking the language. So, you guys didn't know, I am big on learning different languages. Ni hao, dobro otra, indeme anesh, a little bit everything. And so, how that relates to the industry is that a lot of times, we have to speak the language to our client. So there is a type of language that we speak to, hey, thanks for joining. There's a type of language that we speak to the people in the lab. There's our phlebotomy language, using straight needle, butterfly, those type of things. Thanks again for coming on. Thanks, sis, for coming on. Thanks for the hearts. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for retweeting. Again, my name is Javon Harley with your Health Co. And I'm talking about speaking the language. So when I was saying earlier that, happy International Women's Day. Don't forget about that, International Women's Day. Celebrate the women in your life. Celebrate women in general. And thank women for all that they have done to help and create this world that we have. So thank you, women. But speaking the language allows you to, talk to the different levels that you have to talk to. Thanks, Shredder, for your super hearts. So I was saying earlier that I like to speak different languages, a little Chinese, a little Russian. Since I have my Russian crew, I got to learn that a little bit more, a bit of Amharic, a little bit of Arabic, a little bit of Hebrew. That's going to be down the line. But anyway, when I was talking about speaking the language, when I'm talking to doctors, there's a different type of language that I'm speaking to them. When I'm talking to other phlebotomists, great, dobre otra. I got my Russian people on today. So that's what I mean. You have to be able to speak the language in different sections. You have to be able to interpret what is being said so that you can relate it and provide value to that customer or to that client or to that patient. Patients have a language too. Yeah, ouch. They sure enough do. But that kind of brought me back to what you were saying too, Lashana, is that when you understand your patient, it makes a world of difference. I have been to several different countries, and I've been where I did not understand not only the culture because it was my first experience, but I didn't understand what they were saying to me. And so I know my Russian is not that good yet, so I'm working on it. But when you can't understand the patient or the customer or the client, it's hard for them to buy into what you're kind of selling. And so I do a lot of research. I do a lot of studying. I do a lot of review of what that company and what that industry does before even approaching them. Like I mentioned to you guys on Tech Tuesday, I got an email back from AC Wellness, and I studied their platform as much as I can to find out who they are. So when I'm talking to them, I'm speaking their language, right? So in speaking your customers and your patients' language, get an understanding of who they are. So, and it really starts off with asking some basic questions. Like with patients, have you had this procedure done before? Have you had blood taken before? A lot of people haven't. A lot of people have not, surprisingly. Usually you find that the young kids haven't had it done. Even then, that's the perfect time to establish a understanding and a language for them. So work on how you speak to people and understanding them. And I think that's really the key part of speaking and understanding people, whatever language they speak, right? If you can connect on something, then it helps down the line in furthering out your own individual cause and your business. So learn how to speak the language of your patients and of your clients. So what languages do you guys know? I know I have my Russian crew out there, but what languages do you guys speak? I know my sister there, she speaks nurse. She understands some of the nurses, but I know she has some people from different countries. I think is it Ghana that you have a lot of? Nigerian, maybe they speak a little bit different. One of the things that I tell you before they stick you, you're going to feel a little afraid. You're still in that? It's because a part of our regimen is to explain the process. So I noticed that some people don't want to know. Some people would rather not know what's happening. They just want you to do it and get it over with. Some people want to know detail. Okay, let me know when you're about to stick me. Let me know when you're sticking me. Let me know when you got the tube in. Let me know. Very detailed information about the whole process. So the ideal is to get you prepared before it happens. So again, you have to decide if that's something that you want to hear. So most times, a lot of people do not want to know about that whole process. They would rather just have it done and get it over with. But yeah, it's important to communicate that to the patient, especially if this is their first time. It's said, I guess it's the market research to say that it calms the patient down. We have Cameroon, Nigerian, and Tanzania, and I can't spell the other countries. Okay, yeah, so one of the things that I do as far as languages is I always learn an introductory kind of phrase or word. So good morning for Amharic, it's Ademin Anish, right? And so that kind of, to me, when I go into different spaces, it kind of breaks the ice. Like, oh, okay, well, you have at least an interest in who I am and what I do and my culture, and then I can go into learning a little bit more. But I think that opens up the door. So even in when I go down south or when I go on the West Coast, which is, they have their own language. Even though they speak English, they have their own language on how they approach things. So I really look at those things, and I think that has benefited me in business and gaining access. Introductory conversations, definitely. You always want to have some type of introductory conversations, even on LinkedIn. Check out Savvy Business Chick's LinkedIn course, but I would add to that is that introductory message and slang. Yeah, because again, slang is a communicating language, and communication is really key in our business. So I would check out Savvy Business Chick's page and about LinkedIn, and I would add to that is how do you send out what's your first message when you connect with a person? Do you just go in and address what you want to do, or do you start telling them what you provide, or do you start to build a relationship? I always thank them for the connection, because they didn't have to. They could have kept moving or rejected my request, but they gave me the opportunity to start a conversation. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I said a note to the new people who I'm connecting on. Yeah. So it really does matter in that connection and speaking their language. I go back to that because when I'm talking to business owners, I approach it a little bit differently versus when I'm talking to a phlebotomist that I'm trying to recruit. So in speaking their language, it is important that we communicate properly. Okay, so how many connections do you have on LinkedIn now? Wow, that's a great story. Thanks sis for reminding me. So I started a whole new business on LinkedIn. So I started from scratch, from zero, from my old LinkedIn, and I got really active. And so every month, I believe I got 50. So I believe I'm at 400 and something, 412 or 17, something like that. I'm working on more connections. My connections are really more focused towards what I'm doing, and I try to look at people who I can provide value to. I know yours has jumped up significantly at Savvy Business Chick. Hers is low as well, and I think she's up to the thousands. So that's awesome. So following her suit and doing some target marketing as well. So, but I just wanted to talk to you guys today about speaking the language in your business. So I appreciate everybody coming on, and I look forward to talking to you guys tomorrow. We'll do like a recap of everything, and that's awesome, guys. Thanks again for coming on. Thanks for the hearts. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for the super hearts there, Sharetta. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.